Good morning. Another wet, rainy day. It's been pretty much wet every day here now for the last month and a half. But today, what I'm doing today is I'm actually going to be adding some nitrogen to my greenhouse. The reason I had nitrogen this time of year because in the spring of the year, I usually just plant like tomatoes and peppers, and mostly that's pretty much what it is that I grow in my greenhouse in the summertime. They don't need a lot of nitrogen, so I don't have nitrogen in there in the spring. But now, because it's late December, the plants that I'm going to be planting in here within the next 2 or 3 days, they're nitrogen lovers. Like I got some kale going in, and a pile of different types of salads, leafy salads, rapid lettuce, romaine lettuce. That's usually pretty much mostly what we grow in the winter, because it can get pretty cold here. But yeah, this is how I'm going to be adding nitrogen. What this is, it's been in here now a couple of days. This is fresh chicken manure. So yeah, you can't just add the fresh chicken manure itself directly to your gardens, especially if you have plants in them. What I do is I'll soak it in water for 2 or 3 days, and what I'll do is I'll strain out all of the straw, and well, what I'll do is I'm going to bring you guys around so you can actually see what I'm doing, because I do have a strainer where I put it through the buckets. Yeah, so this is what I use as a strainer. It's got about 1/4 inch holes in it, roughly. Maybe not exactly 1/4 inch, but close. I just do that to try not to put too much straw in my gardens. Even though it wouldn't hurt, I just don't want it in there. So yeah, I just take this. I just don't bother adding that organic matter. Because I find straw, if you don't break it down a fair bit before you add it to your gardens, it takes a long time to break down. It would be like adding weeds to your garden. If you don't run them through a mulcher, those damn things will take 3 or 4 years to break down. So, and I need some really good nitrogen in my soil now because, like I say, I'm going to be planting within the next 2 or 3 days. I drag that off to the side a little because what happens is there's so much straw and stuff, it'll stop the fertilizer from just going through. Because everything I use on my farm is natural. Like, I don't use any chemical fertilizers, or I don't buy fertilizers, ever. People come to me for fertilizer. So, all my stuff's organic. These can go on my blueberry bushes. This stuff. Just going to throw it there to help kill the weeds. Because I'll put all of this nitrogen that I'm doing right now, that will all go on the gardens before I plant, and it'll sit on the gardens 2 or 3 days. Because like if you just use this stuff and you pour it over your plants, you're going to burn them. See, I'll bring you over so you can have a good look down in the bucket. So yeah, this is my nitrogen fertilizer for this winter. So my greenhouse is not completely ready yet. I got some beds that are ready to take the fertilizer. These are onions that I planted about a month ago and some lettuce. But yeah, this is the rest of my greenhouse. There's my wood stove. It's in today just because I don't want the soil to get too cold in here, because we have a few nights that are coming now that's going to be way below zero. So I always try to keep the fire in a few days before those really cold days, because it gives off the radiant heat. And yes, all those barrels you see, I know they're white, I just haven't had time to spray paint them black yet, but I have 4 of those barrels in my greenhouse to help keep it from freezing in the wintertime. They don't really give off any heat, but they do definitely help it from freezing. So yeah, this is the garden that I'm going to actually do right now, and I'll show you guys what I mean when I say I just kind of pour it all in there. Now this one's already gotten maybe a quarter of a bucket about 3 or 4 days ago, but I think it's going to need more. So yeah, that's pretty much what it does. It just kind of gets poured on. I let it seep down through. It adds a lot of nitrogen, other minerals, and some organic matter. My gardens have lots of organic matter in here. So yeah, my gardens have lots of organic matter. So I don't really worry too much about that. It's usually in the spring of the year when I had the organic matter. I usually had straw to my gardens in the summer when I'm planting like tomatoes, peppers, all the hot, well, heat-loving plants. But this time of year I'm only planting, like I said before, just greens more or less, and they love high nitrogen. So yeah, that's what I'm in the process of doing now, getting these things ready for planting some lettuce. I'm getting ready to put some seedlings in. These are the ones that I grew in my front porch in my house. So yeah, I decided I'm going to put some in today because I'm running out of space where I normally do all my seedlings. So I want to get these in because we have some like fairly warm weather for the next 2-3 days. Like not hot weather, like, you know, only 2 or 3 degrees at night. I just want to get them in before we get the real cold weather, because this way it'll give them time to get climate changed, or change to the climate, especially down in the greenhouse. Now these are all romaine lettuce that I'm planting in this garden, because we eat a lot of romaine, and we find people like to buy nice big romaine heads of lettuce. So because there's way too much lettuce in this greenhouse in the wintertime for my wife and I to eat. Usually we eat salad every day and we still can't keep up with it, which I'm not complaining, because that's a great thing. Not everybody can do that, and I'm grateful that I can. Now try not to bury them any deeper than what they were in their tray. Try to do this as gently as I can so I don't damage the roots too much, because I think it gives them a much better start if you're a little gentle when you're taking them out of the pots and put into the ground. Now, the only concern I have is because this time of year on PEI, like it really don't get daylight until 8 a.m. in the morning, and it's pretty well dark at like 4:30 in the afternoon. So I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to bring down a couple of grow lights and put over this bed, just to make sure they're getting enough light. That way I'll just turn it on like at 4:30 till probably like 8:30, give it a 4 hours or 4 or 5 hours extra light in the evening. It just gives them a better start, and the bigger they get, the stronger it'll be when we get real cold weather, because like this has been a very unusual year here. It's starting to drive me a little crazy because of all the mud. Alright, so thanks for watching, and I'll keep you guys updated. In about a month's time, or a month and a half's time, I'll bring you guys back so that you can see just how well these romaines grew, and all the other lettuce that I'm going to be planting in the greenhouse within the next 2 or 3 days. So thanks for watching. Oh yeah, and if you like the video, hit that like button. Maybe subscribe, and leave a comment. It would sure help my channel grow, and I would really appreciate it.